I don't know if there are more extensive instructions with the HM-01 now. I know when I got mine, it basically had it had very little in the way of instructions with it, and they had a video, I believe, and then a download PDF that they made. And I assembled mine before I even looked at the PDF, so I don't know what the instructions are like for these. But do the same thing we did the last time, which is try to make sure that nope. This screw is one that got cross-threaded, so I'm going to try and find a hole with better threads to see if I can, there, maybe that was it, feel it thread in and catch, nope. Alright, have to go find some replacements for a couple of these as well. So the trouble with cross-threading is once you get the cross-thread started, then your screws will continue to try and cross-thread if you're not really careful and a little lucky. And always, always make sure that it feels nice and easy to get your screws in until the bottom. Now, do I have any spare of these big ones that came with the kit that was... there are other spare screws that were in the bag of extra parts, but not any of the head bolts. So again, I'll be back with, or I'll have to find replacements. I have all kinds of anodized cap head screws in random screw kits, but the M25 to fit these head bolts, I only have stainless, just like for the big end. So this is getting replacement in stainless. So I replaced all of them so they'd be the same. Since a couple of these were bunged up from cross-threading, and even with these new screws, one of the holes felt like it didn't have particularly good threads in it, and I did have to kind of chase it. So I don't know if there was a issue with the threads in the head of this. I've run that into that on other engines where the threads are a little sketchy, so that may have been one of the issues. But with our exhaust valve lifter fully assembled, we can do our compression stroke, and then that should be power, and then we're hitting exhaust already quite early. Yeah, okay, I need to see about loosening this. Oh, I know what else I need to check. Make sure that this push rod was fully threaded into the... Tried the push rod as much as I could. Can I lift this a little bit more? That is as low as it goes, and there is no slop in this. Alright, I need to check this push rod and see if I can check that this push rod is threaded as deep into the block as it can go. Okay, I have tried to get the push rod threaded further into the block, and it seems to be as deep as I can make it go. This is currently the... yeah, right before. Okay, so this is the power stroke, and like you can't see any space between the valve in the adjustment there, but it does wiggle, so it's not quite touching. And then it's going to open for exhaust and then close here, and this should be an intake stroke, but it's tight on the intake stroke. Like, it is not easy to wiggle here. So I'm going to have to make a fine adjustment on the, probably, I'm going to have to sand between the push rod and this valve flap, the valve arm here, to get clearance in there. So that's a tight clearance, and gonna have to open that up a bit. Right. Diamond file just in place here. Set this so that it's barely held together. Yeah, so this is where it's supposed to just be closed. There, we got a bit more freedom there. There's the exhaust stroke. And now we're on intake, and there. That is enough free motion to know that it's not touching the valve tip. So that was all it was, a teeny tiny bit of file action in there. I may, because there's our ignition, and then back to right before yeah, so there's the bottom, and the exhaust starts to poke open. Perfect. And then we get to the top, and it closes just before top dead center. There's top dead center. It releases and starts to wobble again for our intake valve. Perfect. All right, this is a slightly different style igniter than came with my HM-01. It's still marked a 6 to 12 volt input, and the I think the kit was supplied with a 3 AA pack for 4.5 volts, so we'll see if this ignites on. Gotta find a way to hold this so that we can see it go. This should be ignition coming up. Nope. Alright, I'll have to test this and see about getting this igniter to go. We got our contacts set that they're closed, and I've got a multimeter off to the side here, so we're just going to see. The contacts have not touched, so we'll have to move the contacts to get continuity between them. I think I'm going to move the back one a little bit. That was enough to get continuity. Alright. Trying to hold that in focus, because I did find a 6 volt and now this igniter is working.